Today, I'd like to suggest how we can shift the narrative and make social media work for us rather than against our self-worth. I'd like to propose a deep question. Have you ever found yourself mindlessly scrolling on social media only to suddenly realize you feel worse about yourself? One minute you're checking notifications, and the next minute you're comparing your life to someone's curated vacation photo. It's as if we're a part of an endless talent show competition where everyone is showcasing their gold medals, while you stand backstage wondering why you don't even have one. In a world where validation comes from likes, followers, and shares, it's easy to lose sight of who we truly are. Social media is a powerful tool, but can perpetuate a dangerous cycle of comparison. Validation, oh validation, the silent killer of joy. It exists to fuel comparison, a force that slowly erodes our sense of self. But what does validation truly mean? Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines it as an act, process, or instance of validating. To go deeper, validation stems from the word valid, which means well-grounded, justifiable, meaningful, relevant, or logically correct. What does this all mean? From a young age, we have been conditioned to seek external validation, measuring our worth from the approval of others. But when that validation is tied to social media, it perpetuates a dangerous and self-destructive cycle of comparison. In 2019, when I graduated high school, I spent hours watching YouTube videos on hair routines and makeup tutorials, rarely seeing anyone who looks like me. This thought pushed me to create a platform not only for women who shared my experiences, but also my thoughts. I thought it'd be easy. I'd simply post and the audience would follow. I was met with disappointing circumstances. It felt as if the more I posted, the less seen I was. My content received little to no support, and the encouragement outweighed the negativity. But I allowed that to take control over my life, and I let social media win, allowing it to be a tool that measured my validation rather than finding it from within. I later realized the highs and the lows I experienced, they weren't just emotional, they were biological ones. What if I told you social media can be just as addictive as a drug? Would you believe me? Dopamine is released when we receive likes, comments, and follows, similarly like those engaged from pleasurable activities. In 2024, Stanford Medicine explained to us that this is due to dopamine being released with any kind of human interaction. So over time, as we engage in social media, we have this unconscious incentive to continue to engage, having new neurons fueling this compulsive behavior. Okay, enough science talk. What does this all mean? In simpler terms, the more we consume social media, the more we crave it. As I redefined my relationship with social media, we have to understand that it's deeper than the actual root. We have to understand that validation is not dependent on how others look at us, but rather the true self-expression from within. Your worth is not conditional. It comes from true self-expression. Stanford Medicine also explained to us that a study examining 28,000 people viewed that 1 out of 4 college students expressed depressive symptoms in their Facebook status. They also explained that these same individuals were 2 times more as likely to get depression. Now, what does this tell us? The digital world is not only a mirror, but a magnifier of our emotional states. The more we continue to engage in social media without awareness, the more vulnerable we are to self-doubt, comparison, and anxiety. Understanding, once again, redefining how we view social media will allow social media to work for us rather than against us. So how do we break from this trap? It starts with conscious digital habits. The most powerful tool would be a digital detox, taking a break from social media from a day or two to make true human connections. This not only strengthens relationships beyond the screen, but it allows you to immerse yourself in life. Another powerful step will be curating your feed. So unfollowing those who used to empower you but no longer served your growth. Instead, follow those who uplift, educate, and empower you. Make your feed a space of empowerment rather than insecurity. One of my favorite methods that I like to call PMR, practicing self-compassion, mindful posting, and of course, redefining success. Instead of asking, why don't I have their life? Ask, what do I cherish about my own? Your journey is uniquely yours. You are exactly where you're meant to be. Instead of asking, how does this look? Ask, how does this feel? Post with intention, not for approval. And of course, redefine success. Understand your worth is not tied to the opinions of others, but rather the true connections you make and the fulfillment you feel inside. After 3 years of feeling inadequate and constantly comparing myself, I use these methods to shift my mindset from scarcity to abundance. As any other drug, I had relapse. I found myself in this dark space where it felt as if no one truly seen me for who I was rather than the superficial persona. It was as if I was back at that trophy case, but this time the medals were there just for show. Even though I felt like my life was falling apart, I almost allowed social media to be that validation tool. After I dropped who I thought I had to be, I released my ego. Once I implemented PMR, I made my feed a space of encouragement and empowerment. This allowed me to not only see a shift in my social media where my views jumped over 60,000 and counting, but also in my academic career where my GPA jumped a whole grade point. Most importantly, I found passion and empowerment within myself and those around me. I seen social media as a tool to serve my purpose and mission. Starting today, let's use social media to be our tool to serve our purpose and mission. Be mindful, be intentional, and most importantly, be you. Because your power is far greater than any screen can define. Thank you.